America's pretty fucking amazing.
America's incredible. Like, for all our flaws, for as much dissent and
at least you can say whatever you want.
You can say whatever you want, and for the most part, if you don't wear a Rolex, you're safe.
Who came up with that free speech shit anyways? Was it George Washington or one of those guys? Who was that?
The founding fathers.
I know, but which father actually said it? I want to know.
Which father. I don't know which father it was.
I want to know when they were sitting in that room and just like rapping it
let
out.
them talk shit about us. Who cares?
Yeah, whatever. You can say whatever you want, George.
It's pretty genius, right?
What?
Pretty genius.
It is actually genius.
Free speech.
I would die to know how that conversation went, because someone or multiple people in the room were like, "Come on, let's
John
take that out
Hancock
of there."
Like, whoa! You can't just say anything about me,
George.
Hash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Hash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to group chat. We are all back. We're not all in the studio. We're all three kind of separate, but we're all here. And we got a lot to talk about. We're not seeing eye to eye on this episode, and
it's 2-on-1.
It's 2-on-1. I got to be honest, and we didn't resolve it. And so, as
some of us believe in free speech, like our founding fathers.
Some of us are dictators. I'm like
some
Thomas
of us
Jefferson.
Understand technology.
My guy TJ.
Thomas Jefferson of the group.
Some of us are capitalists.
Let them talk. If you don't know by that little teaser, we're talking about Twitter a lot. There's just so much going on there. We got to cover it, but don't worry, it's a great combo. Also, we have a really big week coming up of inflation reporting, Fed meetings, old J pals linking up with the homies and seeing what they're going to do. Hopefully it's nice. We have our predictions. And a lot of other great news. Lots to talk about today to get you started for the week. Is everyone ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey, guys.
Hey.
We're back, kind of. Too remote.
How was Mexico?
It was great. It was great. It was a little bit of a combo of a vacation. It was my birthday, and it was also, we wanted to do like a 2023 planning session. And so we tied, We're Not Really Strangers, so we tied everything in together. One of our main employees actually lives in Paris. And so she came there, met us there. So we did the reason why I ended up staying longer, and apologies to the Kathy's missed our event, is because we scheduled for 3 days. We did that, but then the other people left, and Karina and I were like, well, we didn't really feel like we got to really enjoy, just do nothing for 2 days. So we stayed 2 days longer, did nothing, did the spa, the whole thing. And it was great. I think that, I don't know if, I guess, whatever. There was a time, I'm going to be a little cryptic just in case, where we had planned to do a November, yearly Cabo trip. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And we went 1 or 2 years, and we were going to do it.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, who knows? I'm the worst at this shit, but this time frame is a really good time to do a yearly trip there. You get away from the little bit of chilliness and rain in LA. There's not too many people right now. I think next week it starts getting packed. The weather's amazing. It was 85, not too hot.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, that was that idea was great pre-kids.
Yeah, that means you didn't have to see, families like ours with kids running around the pool and screaming and yelling.
No, thank God.
No,
none of those.
That was disgusting. Disgusting.
We went to the adults only pool.
I remember when I go to trips, I'm like, ugh, these people with kids.
Get them out of here. That starts this week, I think. This week, and then it ramps up.
Schools end this week. End this week. It's a wrap.
Perfect.
So the chaos starts next week.
You can't leave your house after next week. There's just kids everywhere.
And the rates weren't bad. Customs wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a good little... I'd love to try to do a yearly birthday trip, but we'll see. You know me.
But and it's the week after Thanksgiving, so it's even probably literally the best weekend.
Yeah.
Especially because families with kids can't travel the week after Thanksgiving because they probably went somewhere the week before.
Yeah. It was great. It's a perfect little window, like, during the holiday season.
That's a good pre-kid life hack. Cabo the week after Thanksgiving and Drama's birthday.
And I'll tell you I didn't do it, but like if like the golf thing there, I love golfing and all that, but I don't care enough to like go rent clubs and go alone or get partnered with some dude, but
what are you talking about? You did that in Palm Springs.
Yeah, you did that in Palm Springs.
I had a great time. But like there's like golf courses like on the ocean there. And
actually, a fellow Kathy had invited us to go golf.
Yeah.
At I forgot what it was. It's like the pictures look insane.
Yeah, it's the oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm botching this because we're gonna do that. That's the same person
Costa
right?
Palmas.
Yeah,
same.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that. That's something that once again pre-kids because you can only.
Did I connect you guys?
Yeah, you did. You can only do this pre-kids or kids off to college. So at some point I'm signing up for like a 20-year hiatus, but like a golf trip to Cabo would be the best thing. I see why there's so many of these old drunk dudes in Cabo just golfing and getting hammered at the bar. I get it. I never got
Trust
it.
me, I would love to be that guy.
Yeah, they're I put into work. These little shits are gone to college. They're gone. It's my time to shine.
With fucking Steve and Ted, and we're golfing. And Susie can wait at the pool. It would be a dream. I mean, I get it. I don't know if I'm getting old or what, but it makes total sense.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how I feel about eating solo. I love eating solo. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. It's funny how
inconceivable in your 20s. You'd be like, we'd never go to a restaurant solo.
You're like, who's that loser? And now
exactly. I'm the
loser.
You're the
guy. Yeah. It's funny how your brain just changes, like just your interests changes. Like you look at like older people or even younger people, whatever, you're like, how is that fun? How's that the thing? And then you sort of get there and you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, honestly, everything that older people have been doing for the last 50 years now makes sense to me.
I think kids probably jumps you forward. Like you see a whole new world when you have kids, like things like eating alone or these little things become really appetizing, I would imagine.
Yeah, the most basic things. Like there was a Kevin Hart skit years ago where he said that one time he was pulling up into his driveway and he saw the little 3-year-old, like his 3-year-old kid pop his eyes through the blinds and knew that he was coming to see him. He just backed out of the driveway and drove the fuck out of it.
It all makes sense. Oh my God. Okay, you want to get into the news?
Let's do it.
Okay. We got a big week coming up. We have a new CPI about to come out. We have a Fed meeting on Wednesday. It's a big week. I mean, the stock market was real strong. It took a dip, at the end of the week. Do you guys have any guesses of what the CPI print's going to be? What the inflation, like, do we slow down on rate hikes? What do we do? What's going to happen?
I don't see how any of the inflationary things aren't changing. The only thing that's changed drastically, which isn't considered in it, is the energy prices that have gone down. Like the gas station near my house is now $4.89 for the cheapest. The one a mile down is like $4.69. So gas has definitely dropped in price. The big thing is going to be rent. And interestingly enough, this morning I was on Trulia looking at rents in West Hollywood. I saw a lot of reductions.
Really?
Yeah.
Very overinflated, like 2-bedroom, 2-bath on like a shitty street, no view, no balcony, was 8,500, now 7,500. So it's
but that's
still
meaningful. That's meaningful.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is meaningful, but that was such an overpriced unit. It's not like in a full, it's literally like a duplex that they were just overcharging for. It's not a full service building. It doesn't have any of those things. So you did see some of that. I don't know, when you go to the store, I haven't seen prices at groceries or anything like that drop yet. And I'm at the grocery store or Rite Aid 3 times a week.
Well, didn't the Walmart CEO just say that prices might likely go up because of a combination of inflation as well as theft and things like that?
He called out theft as one of the main reasons. I think it was more of a fear tactic. But I think the only things that like for example, if you're there's still a lot of shortage. You can walk the aisles of like a Rite Aid.
Yeah.
For example, children's Motrin. Because my kids were sick a few weeks ago.
Hot item.
You can't get it.
Really? You can't get it.
You can't get children's Motrin.
I've had multiple friends text me pictures of the shelves at a CVS, and the kids' medicines aisles are just completely gutted.
Obviously, that's a function of what's happening right now, where a lot of kids are sick with the flu, RSV, COVID, whatever it may be. And I think that probably is the reason. But like, I just don't see prices of things going down. Like prices at restaurants have not dropped.
No,
the only thing I did see last week, I saw a little bit more presence randomly because I'm signed up for a lot of restaurants' emails about like, hey, come in, we have a happy hour. Oh, come in, we have a special, which I never used to get emails from these places about a special or a deal. So maybe there is some softening there, but like has inflation, the CPI is like the actual price of things have gone down. I believe the demand has gone down. I just don't know if the prices have. In apparel, definitely the prices have gone down. The sales the last 2 weeks have been insane.
Yeah. So I mean, is the
CPI print, the expectation, I just looked it up, it's 7.3%. I think we're in the eights. I think we're
7.7, right? Last one?
Was it?
Yeah.
So 7.4, we lose $1 trillion. 7.2, we make $1 trillion.
I vote 7-1.
Yeah, I mean, 7.1, 7.2 is still piping hot. So
yeah,
they're gonna find a way to. You can get that thing to 7-1 with some Sam Bankman-Fried accounting.
Yeah, why aren't we just telling everyone it's 7-1?
I know. Why not?
I mean, by the way, 7% is so high still.
It's so high. You know what I'm so sick of hearing though? I'm so sick of hearing that everything's priced in, and then it's not.
And then it goes down.
Like even the what I could gather from the stock market dip at the end of last week was whatever it was, maybe job data or something like that, that essentially led to more fears of more aggressive rate hikes. And it's just like, okay, nothing's priced in. It's still all adjusting the moment some like potential sign of these rate hikes not easing comes out.
I mean, the last like 20 years, at least as long as I've been following the stock market, the biggest flaw, which someone won a Nobel Prize on, is the efficient market hypothesis that everything's priced in.
Yeah.
And it's obviously not. We're seeing it day to day. Nothing's priced in. No one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, so the big thing last week that happened was the PPI, which is the producer price index, which is the wholesale prices from businesses to businesses. That was higher than expected. If that still remains high, that obviously means the consumer is still getting bucked.
Yeah.
I think the consumer is strong. So
I shared this article. This is about the richest consumers in the world. They are planning for aggressive traveling next year. Aggressive traveling. They want to spend more on travel in 2023 than they did in 2022.
I'm
the
early.
Richest people.
I was early on that trend.
Yeah,
you're rich.
What is there a why? Like,
yeah. So it's a report that came out of the International Luxury Travel Market Trade Show. It's in partnership with American Express and Altiant, a luxury market research firm, that said almost 60% plan to spend more on travel in 2023. Only 10% said they'll cut back. And they said they want to spend more on travel because of health and wellness reasons.
Meaning
It makes them feel good.
Mm.
Steve and Ted getting 8 whiskey sodas.
Yeah. They're like, it makes me feel good.
Health and wellness, Steve.
I like it. Do you think that that's like, that feels to me also just a lot of still post-COVID. You know, I feel like traveling and all that stuff is still relatively fresh.
Yeah,
You know, like meaning
agree.
like it's been a year maybe that it's felt like ultra kind of safe to travel again. I also think maybe you stocked up on all your shit, your items for 2 straight years, and now you're emphasizing travel a little more. I wonder how much that plays into it.
And I mean, I think you're totally right. Like Asia's been locked down, no tourists in most of the countries for the last 3 years. Tokyo only opened up 60 days ago. Eric Deluxe is there right now posting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Tokyo.
everyone is.
Everyone's in Tokyo
because it just finally opened up.
Oh.
I think once China opens up, that consumer is going to go nuts.
I mean, inflation's going to be 15% once the Chinese consumer comes to the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean, and all of China's going to get COVID at once.
Yeah.
They're all no immunity, and you're just going to like all of a sudden the floodgates are going to open. It's going to be like the first day of preschool with just germs and snotting and sneezing all over the place.
Can you imagine the price of U.S. hotel luxury rates when China opens up and they're allowed to go back and forth without any restriction? We have basically blocked out, outside Americans, the second richest economy in the world that has not left their country in 3 years.
That's pretty fucking wild.
Like, what's the Beverly Hills Hotel going to be for a night?
Yeah, it's going to be a fortune.
Yeah,
Disneyland.
That's Disneyland.
Oh my God, Disneyland! Like, if you're an American, get to Disney quick before COVID lockdowns.
Yeah, maybe that's also why customs was so fucking empty. I didn't even think about that. No one's even allowed to come here.
Yeah, I think probably predominant parts of Asia haven't really started traveling yet.
No, they haven't. And specifically within Asia, most of the tourist destinations are predominantly Chinese people that go to Thailand, that go to all these Bali.
Yeah, there's a billion plus people, of course. They're gonna
billion plus people, and they all have money. And I mean, once you unlock that, I think it's going to be crazy. Like, what's luxury on Rodeo going to do once the Chinese people are allowed to go back and forth freely?
2-3 billion a day.
Yeah, those guys must just be sitting there, like, just waiting.
And they already have all-time records. Go to any store, talk to any salesperson. It's all-time high for every single brand. And
that's just American consumers.
Yeah, like, let me ask you this. If you had to guess, this is just a fun little experiment. If you had to guess what percentage of Louis Vuitton on Rodeo's revenue are these countries that can't even come here right now? 30%?
So I would say China's like literally the one that can't. I think everyone else can at this point.
Okay, so Chinese
25-30%. 25-30%.
That's what I'd say. 25.
Yeah, good for them. Well, those floodgates are going to open. That's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, right when the U.S. heads into recession and we're all broke, the Chinese are going to come and save the day.
Bail us out. Yeah. Maybe that's how they should try to strategize it. They should work with China and like, hey, we're at rock bottom. Go ahead and let's open the gates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like Foxconn got China to release their, go easy up on their COVID zero policy.
Yeah, I saw that.
So like, let's, business can sway the decisions.
They could be the soft landing, the Chinese consumer in America.
Yeah. Okay. How about Lululemon? Lululemon's been in the news a lot lately, but this topic in particular is they are saying they had their biggest day ever on Black Friday. Sales up 28%, record numbers. Things are looking good. So of all the trouble going on in the economy, leggings are not affected.
It's pretty insane, like the long tail of a brand. And Lululemon is an incredible brand, incredible product. And when you think about from the context of like West Hollywood, you only see Alo Yoga.
Yep.
Which is our little bubble, which is fine.
Yep.
But the rest of the world, it's absolutely on fire. And what you realize is how long it takes for a brand to permeate all throughout all the consumers.
Yeah.
Where I think Lululemon had probably a monster Black Friday is they probably had some discounts, which they never ever have. There was a report that their inventory levels were up 85% to like $1.8 billion. But if you look at their profitability, you look at everything, it's still like the business is on fire.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting that like how, and then you take it one step further, Lululemon just entered footwear. They haven't really entered footwear yet. They just started testing it. They're $41 billion, basically very limited category business. 41 billion is their market cap.
I think Lululemon and activewear is the one permanent effect of COVID, that athleisure is here to stay. You can wear it in office, out of office.
Yeah.
For the most part, most working professionals are still hybrid of the white collar sliver. So like lawyers, accountants, bankers, it's still not 5 days a week what it used to be. And I don't know if it's ever going back.
Yeah.
And I think people are just accustomed to being like, you don't need to be in a suit and you can wear your Lulus to, even if you're a partner in an attorney firm, like a law firm, you can wear it and no one cares.
Plus, it was already trending that way. Remember all the articles and everything about athleisure just being on fire pre-COVID. I think it's one of those areas, like you're saying, where COVID, just threw gas on the fire, and then it's here to stay. I think it increased it, and I don't see it like going back in any way.
I don't think it's going back. I think this is one of the trends of COVID that's staying, that people are just comfortable to wear casual clothes in professional settings. And that's why you see the jump. Like, that jump isn't because people are like working out more, right? It's because you don't have to wear it.
Obviously, people are fatter than ever. Yeah, I mean,
it actually
it's because you can.
You know what Lululemon has in their clothes? It's called stretch.
Yeah.
You know what happens with stretch? It gives.
Yeah, you don't have to go back and look at those old jeans and be like, damn, I used to be that size. You just stretch those same old leggings on, you're fine.
Yeah, you can wear a medium and be a 2X in Lululemon.
Yeah. You know what I would die to know, though, just as like someone running a business, is like, Lulu obviously did well. Like, this isn't smoke and mirrors. Their numbers seem really, really good. But when you look at the part of the equation of all of their inventory, they have this crazy excess inventory. And then they also had this crazy day of sales. So like, what were their discounts compared to what they normally do? What were, like, I would die to know the whole sort of thing. Because obviously with all that inventory, it's not all just amazing news. Like, there was something there that came up short, and there probably was more sales than usual, which drove these numbers. It's just, like I said,
The data point is two things. One, the inventory buildup basically means they're going to have discounting, which means they'll have lower gross margins, which is why the stock got clobbered. The stock went down 10% on Friday. So I think, or more than 10%. So I think the through line is these numbers are all great, but the reality is when you have this excess and you have the excess at the size of a Lululemon, it's inevitable that at some point this pain is going to kind of come bite you in the ass.
Or what do they do? Do they keep doing more? Like, is next year way more sales than they normally would have done? And the press that you read is Lulu breaking records. with sales, top line sales numbers. It's just, like I said, I'm not hating on them because I do think even though a lot of people are using smoke and mirrors, I don't think Lulu is. I think they're probably still incredibly, like, their margins are still probably great. But I just would die to know the full picture because you just don't get it in like record day. You don't have no idea what that really means.
I agree. I think we'll find out, but the brand...
even internationally, things are getting less formal. Like even in London, I was there in September and a good friend who listens to the pod took me to one of those like member spots. And typically you have to wear a blazer. And he's like, don't even worry. That's like done. Like that era's over. You can wear a button up and you're fine.
Yeah, COVID killed formal dress wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Okay. That's probably true.
What about Shein? We got an article here about Shein. We've talked about them. Dee, you were early on that, but they're just crushing it. They, the founder just broke the 100 richest Chinese ranks. I believe he's number 25 or something. Just raised a new round of funding.
This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. General Atlantic, which is a New York-based private equity firm, gave them $1 billion at $100 billion valuation.
So for context, that's free money. That's 1% dilution.
Yes. And the other context is it's the combined value of Zara and H&M. And I don't care what anyone has said. I do not believe Shein economically is a better business than either of those two businesses. Like, there's no way.
So they say that Shein did $16 billion in the first half of 2022. Yeah. So let's just assume they did another 16. Maybe they did a little more because holidays, $35-40 billion in revenue.
There's no way that's profitable.
How much do you think they're losing? Is it $3 billion or is it $500 million?
I'd say it's over $1 billion.
But this guy came from the marketing, search engine marketing world. So you'd have to imagine he must be selling some crazy story of tech and data and how he's going to do that. Where H&M and those guys, I don't know that they have that story. I mean, he must just be selling an incredible story of data and marketing and what they're going to do, right?
This seems like a 2021 deal.
It really does. There's no way an e-commerce fashion business is going to go public north of $100 billion and retain its value.
Yeah, it'll be down 60-70% probably.
I mean, let's be real. Would you rather? What's Meta valued at right now?
Hold on one second. I actually want to see this. The market cap of Walmart is $390 billion.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a problem. What is this guy selling?
Meta is $300 billion. I'm sorry, like Shein's not going to be worth $300 billion.
I know you're a big reader now, Dee, with Sam Walton, but I'm betting on the Waltons over Shein.
I love the Waltons. Let me tell you something about those Waltons. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah, so, this seems like just a terrible deal. You think Shein is 1/4 of Walmart?
What is he selling? He's got to be selling. I mean, that story must be fucking.
He must be selling that he is the global Walmart, right? And Walmart does everything. They sell groceries, they sell clothes,
and they make shitloads of money.
Yeah, they're super profitable.
Yes.
But is he like Amazon, but directly from?
$100 billion for this company is exactly how we used to like laugh at all those deals in 2021. I guess everything's worth 10 billion, 20 billion, 30 billion. And in this market, when everything is corrected, I don't know how you can justify this valuation by any metric.
Even if they did 32 billion, there's just no way they did $1 billion of profit. If they did, it's adjusted EBITDA.
A lot of adjustment.
A lot of adjustments. What if he's the next Amazon and fast fashion is his books and there's some sort of direct to vendor? He's got it.
Walmart did $572 billion.
Yeah, this is tough. This
And
is
made
tough, but-
money.
And made money. And it's basically like the index of the American consumer.
But how's he getting a 2020 deal in 2022? That story must
Maybe-
be.
SPF scammed a bunch of people,
Yeah.
a bunch of smart folks.
Yeah. But didn't he do most of his scamming in the heyday? Like in the
this guy must be exceptionally good at pitching because everyone knows this isn't worth $100 billion.
And you can't even find this guy. We don't even know where he lives.
No
I just
one knows
can't
where he
imagine
lives.
writing $1 billion check and it's 1% of the company's valuation. That's wild.
Absolutely insane.
Okay. Well, listen, the guy's got a good pitch, whatever it is, and we'll see.
I don't know if we'll see the
We'll
downfall.
see one way or another. Yeah.
Do you think this company's worth, if you're writing $1 billion check, you're expecting it to 3 or 4x. So you're saying this is Walmart.
Yes, that's what they're saying.
Yeah. I think the play here has to be that it's Amazon.
Inditex, which is Zara, is worth $80 billion, okay? $80 billion. Does $30 billion of revenue, nets $5 billion of profit.
It's a tough. It's tough. It's a tough one.
In 2020 or 2021, I would have said 200 billion, right?
Yeah,
Sure,
fine.
yeah.
200 billion, 300
Not
billion.
at the tail end of 2022 of what we've just seen transpire with every company in the public markets.
This is going to be one to watch. Either way.
I mean,
either way,
you know how easy it is to crush Shein? All you have to say is all imports from China,
yeah,
no matter the dollar
over.
amount, are now taxed. That's it. You change that law, which should be changed anyways. That company is fucked overnight.
I mean, let's take it a step further. Amazon's a $990 billion company. Is this 1/10 of Amazon selling $4 skirts?
But I'm telling you, it's got to be what they're selling of.
Yeah.
It's way
On-demand
more
paper
than
towel.
skirts. Yeah.
And that billion just went to the founders' pockets. That's secondary, if I had to guess.
Well, you know what's the dollar limit, Dee? Do you know the threshold?
800.
Dollars?
You
That's
can
a
ship
lot.
up to 800 directly from
That's a lot.
China to US and not have it taxed to the consumer, as long as it
So
goes to the
Shein's
consumer.
not even scratching that number. They're sending like
No.
$30 orders.
Yeah, let's assume their AOV is $75. Just a guess, but $75.
Wow. Okay. You guys want to jump into Twitter land for a minute?
Yeah.
So Twitter, I was gone for the whole release of the Twitter files. There was the first Twitter files. I'm sure you guys talked about it extensively. There's now been the second Twitter files. This Elon is just, I don't even know what to say because I've said it so many times. My mind is completely blown at the amount that he takes on. Even if you think it's silly and stupid and, hey, you need to grow up. And, I know, Anand, you said that kind of like stuff like that a few times. It's just like, the guy just posted like my pronouns are whatever, lock up Fauci or something.
Prosecute Fauci.
And like, what are you doing? You just posted one tweet that went at like the transgender whole thing, at Fauci, which is a very political thing. It's just madness. But these Twitter files, so he's, releasing everything that happened with Trump being banned and people being shadow banned and stuff like that, which, look, I think that transparency is priceless and is really great. But it's nuts.
So my take is basically what the Twitter files, quote unquote, exposed is exactly what Elon's doing right now,
Which
with
is
the
what?
prosecute Fauci. Meaning the criticism is thumbing the scale. They were shifting the conversation. This is the owner of the company. He's the boss.
Uh-huh.
And he's now politicizing his own platform. And he's
Yeah, but
one of the most engaged.
Yeah, but he's
Engaged
doing
people.
that publicly. You can't. But they were throttling people's voices. That's very
But
different.
everyone does it. So that's the like dirty little secret about social media. Google does it, Facebook does it, TikTok does it, Instagram does it, Twitter does it. This isn't a surprise.
But don't
They
you think
do
it's
what they
still
want to
even-
do.
It is a surprise to the average person. I think it's a surprise to the average person.
I think people have to stop being. I mean, if you're going to be surprised, then just know that every platform you use is throttled.
But
and
Twitter
every
is
platform-
news. Twitter's main purpose is
Twitter's
news.
a
so it's
social
different.
media platform. No, what you interpreted as news, their job, they're not a government agency.
My
They
problem.
aren't-
I have one problem. My problem is they all jack.
So how's it different than Fox News? Fox News only tells you one side of the story.
Here's the
MSNBC
difference.
only tells you one side of the story.
Here's the difference in
How's
my
it different?
opinion. Here's the difference to me is all these people went on all these platforms and things and said, we don't do it. We
Jack was in
don't
front of
shadow ban
Congress.
people. We don't.
In front of Congress.
Shaq's in Ghana. He does not. He doesn't.
And
know
nobody
what's
went in
going
front
on
of Congress.
Twitter.
My point is, if you alter like reality, like you say, they've said many times, Twitter is the place for public debate. It is blah, blah, blah. We do not shadow ban, and we definitely don't, disproportionately shadow ban conservatives. If you say that, but then you alter what reality actually is, and so you try to like show this fake reality. No, this is the public conversation. Here it is. That to me is like pretty.
I think it's
evil.
naive of the user to think that, because it's all your news that you consume on every platform is tailored for a specific reason. New York Times is liberal. Fox
No,
News
but that's
is
different.
conservative.
They're
I
not
know, but you gotta
platforms.
say it. You
They're not
gotta say it.
platforms. That's not a platform. New York Times is not a platform.
To me, this is like selling like healthy.
There's no legislation today on a social media platform to give no algorithmic news. There's no legislation.
No,
So there's
that's
nothing
fine.
illegal
it's
about
just
it.
morally wrong.
It's nothing about illegal. It's just the fact that they did it.
To me, this
Yeah,
is like
they did it.
Gatorade saying zero sugar. We do not have sugar in our drinks, and you find out they do. It's just like you just lied about what your product is. You didn't even just not address it. I would understand if they're like, oh, we don't answer questions about shadow banning. We don't blah, blah, blah. We're a private company. We're going to run it how we want. They openly said that they don't do it. And that's scary because you're altering reality. And look, none of us are conservatives, but if this just happened to be us and they did this against Democrats and they didn't say it, it would feel evil. It would feel like you're not representing the truth about what your product is. It's fine if you want your product to be biased. That's fine. But you can't say that it's not.
What's interesting is on TikTok, we did a article about Taiwan's semiconductor giving money for a plant in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I got zero.
Got literally 500 views on TikTok. They throttled the shit out of that thing. So at least, so I think the thing is that like they did lie, and it was biased only toward one group of people. And so if you did it across everybody, then like whatever, like I think people would be more accepting of it.
But they also did it with people who ended up being right. Like there was a Stanford professor who was writing about how lockdowns were going to be harmful to children, and he got throttled, and he ended up, essentially being right. And even if you don't think he was totally right, it was a valid part of the debate in hindsight.
So the counter is, and I made this point on the last pod, I know you were out, is that the mainstream media is conservative media. So I don't get why all these conservatives complain.
But
Nine of the top 10 cable shows are Fox News conservative leaning shows. If you look at Facebook trending articles, it's Tucker, it's Ben Shapiro. They are the mainstream media. So this notion that CNN controls the dialogue and narrative is false. CNN has I don't even think they're in the top 30 in cable shows for anything.
Yeah, I don't even I
don't get why the Republicans and the right want to scream foul
It's still wrong. It's still wrong. You shouldn't throttle anybody.
It's not about
I'm even
fine with your point.
You can throttle if you're a private company. You can throttle whoever you want. Facebook does it. TikTok does it. Google does it. Twitter does it. What you have to do is just be honest about it.
Or don't talk about it. You can't go out and testify in front of Congress and go on all these podcasts and do all this shit and say, no, we don't do it. That is, sorry to use this term, but gaslighting. It's you're calling everyone crazy when you're just doing it. And they knew that they were doing it. Even if Jack was like sort of willfully ignorant. This Vijaya person, if I even said the name right, knew firsthand, and they were still saying
you lost your brown card.
Sorry.
His name is Vijay.
Sorry. They were saying it in very, very publicly. And I don't, even if like your point about mainstream media, that's fine, or anywhere else, it's fine. My problem is only Twitter. Twitter is a meaningful piece of the public discourse, and they have the right to do everything that they want and run it how they want or how they did. But you just can't lie and say you don't do it, and these people are crazy when you literally go look at labels on their account.
Every corporation they lie. Every corporation lies about what they do.
Get exposed, they get punished. And I just think that if a car company lied about the safety of their vehicle, or a blah blah blah, or a sugar content of your beverage, you would get punished for it. And I think it's disgusting behavior no matter who you are. And I don't know. I think it's bad. And we were on the side of the people not getting banned, but you got to look out for, if this just happened to be us and we were lied to, it's not right in either direction.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what will happen is, look, Elon is basically going to be the martyr for probably the more balanced way of going about this. He's going to get crucified at this point, no matter what. Because
what do you think happens? Like martyrs die. I'm not saying he physically will die, but what do you think the downfall is?
I mean, can you imagine if at the height of COVID, Zuck started posting end lockdowns or whatever, even if he was right? His job as a CEO and owner of a massive platform, he realizes he has to watch what he says. Elon's like, fuck it, I'm going to say whatever I want. And he's doing exactly what the Twitter files exposed.
I don't agree with that, though.
No, he's not.
He's openly saying something, and people
he's
are...
He's the most powerful person on the platform.
But he's not throttling.
Same thing. What he's doing might be kind
amplifying. No, it's amplifying. He's the most powerful person on the platform. He's amplifying himself.
But it's not the same thing.
I don't think he's using a tool to amplify himself.
Well, because he's the most important person on the platform, he automatically amplifies himself. He's not
using steroids.
He's not saying, "No, I'm not."
Whatever. He's clean, and I think it's very hypocritical. Sorry.
I think it's mildly hypocritical. I think that what he's doing is a little like, hey, just don't do that. But they're two totally different things. And lying and saying you're not manipulating the discourse while representing it as true public discourse, and directly lying about a question. Are you shadow banning people? No. Are you throttling? No. And you are literally doing exactly that. It's so terrible. And all the while not saying we are a private company. We have certain types of conversation that we want on our platform, and that's what we're going to do. They said this is a place for public discourse. And the U.S.
government did that. That's what Snowden exposed.
So of course, everyone but that was fucked up too.
And they all had punishment. The U.S. government.
Who had punishment? But I'm saying Snowden's in Russia.
I know, but right now
he got punishment.
I know, but the point is that only Elon is getting ridiculed for this in liberal media. No one on liberal media is saying, you know what, Elon is completely out of line for the way he's talking, but old Twitter execs fucked up. That's what New York Times should be saying. Twitter execs.
I don't think so, because the right doesn't do that when they're wrong. So why should the left?
I'm just saying, but
we talked about this last episode.
I don't think the right's done anything.
They move on.
This. I hate to say it, but
what do you mean? They lie every day on Tucker and all these shows.
No, but it's so different when you pretend that you are representing public discourse. It's like you're manipulating reality. And when people say, hey, this feels a little funky, it doesn't seem like these voices are represented. You say,
watch Tucker for 30 minutes and tell me he's not manipulating reality.
But it's so different though, Anand. It's just a different thing. I'm not saying it's not fucked up. I think Tucker's a joke, but it's a different thing.
The best example is what in SBF's DMs, he wrote saying, and even in the interviews he's done, he was like, yeah, you just give money to liberal candidates so they'll basically look away. Is SBF woke and liberal? Fuck no. He doesn't give a fuck.
He's a sociopath.
But that is what he realized, sociopath or not, he realized as long as you're aligned with the left, the public gives you a pass. And that is what the point is that like, as long as you're aligned with liberal beliefs, there's a big portion of the country that just says he's a good guy.
How can you make the counter is Trump? He's aligned with the right and he has no consequence for anything he's done.
I'm not saying it's very different.
I mean, he has the number of investigations this guy has on him, and we know he's not going to jail.
But I just feel like you're doing a little bit of like whataboutism. Like, yeah, but they did this, and like, don't get me wrong, Trump is fucked. Tucker's an idiot. That's how I feel about all those people. My point
is the left shouldn't play. They should play as dirty as the right because that's the only way that media works today.
Oh, I don't agree. I think that
I don't know any centrist that's playing. Who's playing safe or like playing it straight?
Yeah, but to be honest with you,
that's what the right created this. You have to. Trump created this where this is the only way you play. Yeah, and no one else has countered it.
But I think that's there's proven lessons from
that's not
history.
Whataboutism. That's just like data.
But Trump lost. He lost.
But his messaging works. DeSantis is using his messaging just a little kind of simmered down.
Let's talk about it like in sports terms. Like if you find out the other side is cheating, you don't then go cheat. You try to work to get the cheaters out and make the game more fair. That should always be what we're striving for. The moment we say, fuck it, they're cheating, so we're cheating, we're all cheating, you ruin the game.
I think social media has done that, though.
But we're not talking about social media. We're talking about entire public discourse. You're talking about all of media and all of social media, which is all of public discourse. And I just think it's a shame that if we like right now, the topic is Twitter. So that's why we're going so hard on Twitter files, all that stuff. If the topic was Tucker Carlson, we could go in on him too. But when it comes to Twitter, I think that it's a losing game for everyone if you follow each other over who can play the dirtiest. I just don't think we should shoot for that.
I agree. But the problem is one side refuses to change course. So what is the other side supposed to do?
I think that in the end, and we'll see, but I think that in the end, things go the right way. Like, I don't think Trump will win the presidency again. Maybe he will, and I'll eat my words on that day. But I think that people realized, like we kind of saw in the midterms, the Trumpy fucking election denying psycho shit. People are over that, and that's the truth. Just coming to the top, or the right message starting to show. And I just think you have to, like, I'm not trying to be all inspirational bullshit here, but like, you can't just play dirtier and dirtier. I don't support it from the side that I'm on or the other side, but on the topic of Twitter, I think it's fucked. I think that to say you are not doing something and say that your platform is not biased, it's a public square, and then you're lying is so fucked up. Yeah, and just because the other side's fucked up, I don't think it makes it okay.
Yeah, and I think the note is that the two things can be true. What Twitter did in the past was terrible, and the way Elon's handling it now is also terrible. And so Elon could have exposed it and not given so much opinion on it, and I think he would be in a much better place. It's just that now he's being very vocal on his specific opinions, and that is pissing people off, and it only loses his credibility.
Yeah, he loses credibility.
I think he would actually be way more effective, because I think the Twitter files with what Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss, they went out and I saw a lot of people who are pretty neutral's reactions to it. They were surprised. They were genuinely surprised. I like
Matt Taibbi, and I think he did a great job in his thread, and he's a very sophisticated writer. But Elon, like you said, loses credibility when he makes it a joke again. Yes. My pronouns are prosecute Fauci.
Yeah. So
what are you doing? You're the owner of the public town square now, and this is what you tweet?
Yeah. So that's
pathetic.
But doesn't mean that what the Twitter execs did is not wrong.
I think it's okay to be nuanced. I think it's okay to say that what the Twitter execs did is fucked up. Elon exposing it is great. Barry Weiss and all their contributions are great. And Elon fucking just goes a little too far on the goofy shit. I think all of those things can be true. I don't think the pronoun thing makes Elon all a dick. I don't think Matt Taibbi. I think that it's a nuanced discussion, but I think that exposing it was incredible, and Elon is taking an insane risk to expose it. And I think that information being public is very, very, very valuable. I think we should all be very thankful that that information is known. It doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't solve the right. It doesn't anything. But I think it's really great. Yes, Elon goes a little extra, and that's he should.
But I don't think. I mean, as someone who like has been in technology for the last 15 years, nothing he said was shocking.
Yeah, but that's because
to me it was. It was to me. I'll be honest, because I think that's like I hear that a lot. Is like it's not shocking. I think we all kind of assumed it, and we all kind of like, oh, they have the right to do it. But when you really look at what they said they didn't do, and exactly how they did it, and what they did, and that they lied blatantly to everyone, and that it did affect, probably even in a small way, elections and perception of reality. I think it's.
But it happened in 2016 with Hillary's emails.
I know, but they throttled Trump in 2020 leading up to the election. And look, I am so glad that Trump isn't our president. But to not let it be known what you're doing, just say we're throttling him. He's ridiculous. We don't want him on our platform. Great. Let all the conservatives leave.
Ban him. You should have banned him then.
Let it be a liberal only platform. Let them be like, fuck you guys. That's all awesome. But to lie and say it's the truth and it's not.
I just think the way everyone's going at Twitter now from the right, it's to assume that the right has been so honest this whole time.
Well, no, that's a whole different clown show. You can't even tie those things together.
No, but that's my point. It's like you can't criticize because you're not being honest about what you do every day in media. Not you. I'm saying the right.
I know. I don't disagree with you, but
it doesn't mean just because your guy murdered someone, it's not okay. You know, it's like you have to at some point draw the line of stupidity. Yeah. And so I'm okay with anyone giving their opinion and manipulating people. If you're smart enough to do it, go for it. It
happens in venture every single day.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But do not say you're doing something and do something else. That's it.
That's
very
fraud.
simple.
That's like a different thing. It's not like, here's a good example. Yeah. SBF didn't just sell a really good dream and wasn't quite able to fulfill it. He lied about things. Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes didn't just oversell. She lied. Like there's this other lane.
Yeah, so I'll give you something in this context. If you're interested, you should all watch Rupert Murdoch's documentary on HBO. It's phenomenal. And it basically talks about his rise from being an Australian newspaper guy to obviously the global media magnate.
Yep. And
he learned early on in his career, specifically I think the big transition point was in the 80s during a mayoral race in New York, how media had the power to elect people, and that if you just position someone the right way, they could win. And that is ultimately what media has always done. It's just in the case of Rupert Murdoch, he's been blatantly open that he's a conservative. This is what he believes. And I'm going to back my guys till they fucking win. And as soon as they don't, Trump is obviously persona non grata with the New York Post now because they're done with him. And same with Fox News. They're clearly done with him. And so they're dumping on him. They're just like, yeah, whatever. He's a loser. We're done with him. Because Rupert made the call, then it's over. Right. And it's very open that that's who Rupert Murdoch is. Twitter was just trying to play itself as someone else. That's all.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll agree to disagree.
Well, hey, they're about to relaunch Twitter Blue.
So Twitter Blue now, here's the genius of Twitter Blue.
Yeah.
If you sign up for it directly on their website, it's only $8. If you sign up via the app, because they have to pay the Apple app commission, it's $11.
Wait, it's that easy?
Yeah.
Why doesn't every company?
Fortnite.
That's what they did?
Yeah. They said go on a website.
But why doesn't if you're Calm or I don't know, I'm just naming an app, why don't you just say?
Because I think they genuinely think, and I agree, the average consumer is so lazy.
Yeah.
to get them to go directly to a mobile web experience to download the app.
But don't you think running this scenario, let's say we're in a meeting and you and I are running Calm, don't you think you still get all the sales on the app from the lazy people that you would have? You just get a bump. Yeah, let's say you get a 10% bump from the cost savers that would have just opted out.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, please.
This is why Elon is the richest man in the world, because it's so simple what you just said.
Yeah.
And he's just going to look, 10% of people might only sign up directly through mobile web. Maybe 20%. I don't know. I don't know what
2024. So.
But that's when they're launching it?
No. I'm asking a question to both of you. 2024, mid 2024. So 18 months from now, effectively. Is Elon still the owner of Twitter?
Not only is he the owner of Twitter, by 2024, it'll be an election cycle. Twitter will be the hottest fucking platform on earth.
Yeah, I agree.
It'll have a record fucking year. That's my prediction.
Even though I do agree with you on the part of like Elon goes too far on the silly side, I think that it's effective.
The platform's on fire.
Yeah.
The platform's on fire.
I think it's on fire from an engagement perspective, from a usage part, but I'm really curious what advertisers are doing.
So here's the
data.
thing.
He's going to have to release that data because he has public debt.
He has
public debt. So
let me tell you something about the data. It's going to be shitty short term. This is my prediction on revenue. Short term shitty. Do you know where Facebook makes all their money? It is not off enterprise large businesses. It's off small businesses. I've seen more small business advertising on Twitter than I ever had before. Basically because every big advertiser is saying they left, except Apple, which is their biggest. Apple has remained their largest advertiser with 9 figures committed. But like everyone else, if they're saying they're actually leaving, then it'll up to the SMBs, and those people, they'll just go wherever the engagement is and where the action is. And if they can get a cheaper deal on Twitter, they'll go. There's no loyalty in advertising. It's just about performance, especially digital marketing. So you think
it's going to perform? You think Twitter's going to perform? You've barely advertised on Twitter in your entire digital marketing career.
I put it like this. I think Twitter could be Snapchat.
Yeah, you know those big guys, they just have money to dole out and some of it goes to Twitter. I think everyone right now, while the heat is on, we know how this works. While the heat's on, everyone says, oh, we're not advertising there, blah, blah, blah. And then as those daily active users go up, they slowly ease back in when no one's paying attention. And before you know it, you got all your Pepsi ads and your regular stuff and you forgot it even happened.
No, I don't think about that. No, I understand. I don't think advertisers are going to be morally righteous if the ads start converting. They're going to advertise. Mm-hmm. I'm not stupid about that. But my point is, will they actually convert?
Yeah, it doesn't look
as well as they ever did.
I mean, yeah, who knows if anything outside of Facebook really converts and Google, right? Like it just.
Yeah. So you said they could be Snapchat. Snapchat's a $15 billion company. He paid $44 billion.
I think, yeah, maybe. I'm just saying revenue wise. I don't know what the value of the business is.
No, but he has to pay the interest. There's actual, like now, it's not like old Twitter where you were just public and you lose money.
He has $13 billion of debt?
He has $1 billion of debt of interest from what I understand currently. Plus they lose $1 billion. So they lose $2 billion. I think they lose $2 billion cash flow.
Oh yeah, we know they're not losing that kind of money anymore. So he fired everyone. So
I think he figures it out. I just think there's too much. He has $1 billion
of interest for the richest man in the world. Nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah, I think it's too easy to figure out. And there's too many people that like. I also think there's a lot of people with a lot of money that want him to succeed.
Yeah,
and we'll continue to invest in, like, firing half the staff and the company's still running. Like, there's a lot of people that are secretly really behind that. Free speech, there's a lot of people, or the way he's handling free speech, there's a lot of people that are really behind that. Like, I think he figures it out. I think 2024, it's bigger than it's ever been. And
yeah, I think the election cycle plays into his advantage. I think it just goes bananas. And I also don't think he's the CEO in 6 months. I think he hires a CEO. He's just the guy making dumbass comments. That's all he is.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Last but not least, I guess it's a bit of a negative topic here. Grant Wahl, sports journalist so I don't know much about this. You guys probably know a lot more than I do, but this guy is a well-known sports journalist. He was at the World Cup, covering the World Cup in Qatar. He collapsed on Friday and died. He was young,
48.
48. But I don't know, like, do you guys know, like, did they say what happened?
So the facts are as follows. He apparently posted that he was feeling sick and worn out, I think, last week. Okay. And apparently he's a super healthy guy. He's 48. Just by looking at his Instagram and pictures of him, he looks like a pretty fit guy. So he might have been burnt out. He's been working the World Cup. I think he's the leading U.S. soccer journalist that's out there. And he dies. His brother posts that he believes there's foul play. His wife posts like she's in absolute shock. So there's like, those are the facts. And then now you can decide what the other facts are. He wore
his brother's gay.
His brother's gay, and he wore the pride shirt with the U.S. colors and posted. He's been highly critical of human rights issues in Qatar, and he's been writing about that. So this is where tinfoil can go crazy.
Seems a little
I mean, first of all, it's obviously incredibly sad that he passed, but we talked about this in previous episodes. Like, when you leave this great country, you unfortunately are now abiding by the rules of another country, whether you like it or not. And Brittany Griner learned that. A lot of people have learned in different situations. And, we take for granted that we're able to speak so freely. And I'm not suggesting there was any foul play in this situation, but if you look at his Twitter and you look at his post, and given what we know about the region, it's kind of scary.
But do you think, geez, maybe I'm just ridiculous here for saying this, but like, he was at the World Cup, right? Or was he not? Was he off site?
No, he was in the booth, the press booth.
So like,
no, he didn't die in the booth, did he?
I think he passed out in the booth, though. He passed out in the booth.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Which just is like, are you that bold?
I think it's a strong move if that's what it is.
Like for just being outspoken. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm guessing we would get like
we'll never see an autopsy, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. You're never going to find out what happened, right?
I don't know. I mean, what if, this happens, like, I don't know. I don't know what to say here. It happens. It's extremely uncommon that a 48-year-old healthy guy is going to, collapse and die out of nowhere. But people have sudden.
Yeah, you're right. He was covering the Argentina versus Netherlands game, and where he's reported to have collapsed during the match.
If that happened, that is so insane and so bold.
Yeah.
After Epstein, everything's on the table, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We all saw the Khashoggi thing. Obviously different, but like absurd. Not the type of thing that you really think happens. It is just crazy to me, like the type of shit that like it's easy to sit here in our safe country and think like only happens in movies and stuff, and like it does happen. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but just the fact that it's a possibility, it's on the table. It's just,
I think it's important to discuss. That's all I'm saying. I'm not accusing anyone of anything.
It's similar to, you're reading all these like young kids, like 30-year-olds die, the crypto kids dying.
Yeah, what's that?
It's like wild shit.
It's like 4. I think 4 in Puerto Rico in the last 2 weeks.
What's the conspiracy there? Like, if let's just say someone was going around killing crypto founders, like, who is that? The government, because they don't want crypto to work? Like, what's the tinfoil?
one I could tell you, one founder tweeted that he went on like an Epstein rant that the CIA's like human trafficking young kids in a sex ring in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And he tweeted that, and then he was dead like a couple days later.
Okay.
So that was
crazy.
one example. The others were just like kind of crooks, and maybe someone killed them. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
you
what
steal a
about,
bunch
like,
of money,
ground
you could
rules?
also end up dead too.
Yeah, that's true. It's just okay. Well,
I think the point is like if you die overseas, no one's going to find out the reason.
Yeah.
So if you're going to die in a developed country, so your loved ones can figure out what actually happened
to you.
Yeah, gosh, man, how terrible.
It's really tough to.
I mean, I guess we
leave
don't know what happened.
America. It's really tough to leave. America is going to be booming for the next 1,000 years. Let me tell you, there's no chance any other country can surpass because the rest of the world is very different. It's extremely different.
Yeah, I think to your point, it's very high stakes in any other country, regardless of the level of wealth you have and the level of influence you have in that country. When we saw what happened with all the Chinese billionaires, they all got jailed.
You could say or do anything here. Anything.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what we do on this podcast. Like, we say a lot of crazy
Lock us
shit.
up. Lock us
God.
up.
I mean, this podcast, we would have been killed on episode 3 if we were half of the other countries.
And we're only talking about for the most part, we're talking about what's going on here.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're even, we were talking to a friend that was in India recently, and he said it's very strict on the way you talk about the leaders in that country.
Yeah,
and
we heard India's gone full G. That's the hot take.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's apparently, quote unquote, the largest democracy in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, look,
So,
I'm going to make a really big jump, and you're probably going to be annoyed by this, but this is why I just think that secretly...
Shut up, man, those motherfuckers!
Secretly banning people for dissenting political opinions is scary. It's not cool. Like, come on, it's America. Do what you want.
Yeah, America's pretty fucking amazing.
America's incredible. Like, for all our flaws, for as much dissent and...
at least you can say whatever you want.
You can say whatever you want, and for the most part, if you don't wear a Rolex, you're safe.
Who came up with that free speech shit anyways? Was it George Washington or one of those guys? Who was that?
The founding fathers.
I know, but which father actually said it? I want to know.
I don't know which father it was.
I want to know when they were sitting in that room and just like wrapping it
let them
out.
talk shit about us. Who cares?
Yeah, whatever. You can say
Fuck
whatever
the
you want,
haters.
George.
It's pretty genius,
George?
right?
What?
Pretty genius.
It is actually genius.
Free speech.
I would die to know how that conversation went, because someone or multiple people in the room were like, "Come on, let's
John
take that out
Hancock
of
was
there."
like, "Whoa! You can't just say anything about me,
George. We got to keep it like the old times."
Because think about how prescient it was for them to do that, because all free speech does is removes the power that the people in power have.
Yeah,
because you're allowed to criticize them.
I don't know why.
They were like,
it's it's really genius. It's genius.
It's fucking insane.
Well, thanks to Elon.
Like, think about it, as a CEO. As a CEO of a company, the last thing you want in your company is free speech, right?
Listen, that might be your company.
Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson is the reason.
He's the one who did
TJ.
it.
Yeah, my guy TJ.
Damn, shout out to TJ. What a great idea that just does not seem like it would have been popular in that office.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine TJ pulling up.
Like, yo, let
to
him
the
talk.
Liberty Bell, talking about, yo, everyone should be able to talk their shit.
I'm surprised he didn't end up dead at a soccer match.
They probably tried. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, great episode. Good to be somewhat back. Everyone have a great week out there. That's all we got. No shout outs, right?
Nope, that's it.
We're good.
All righty. We'll see you on Tuesday.